Hello, hello again. So, how are you? How are you doing? How are you feeling this week? You're okay? You're not going crazy. You're not going mad inside all the time. You don't have cabin fever. Do you know the expression cabin fever? Cabin fever is when you become crazy because you are stuck, inside in a small house for a long time. So you imagine people in Canada in the frozen conditions. Sometimes people are trapped inside for a long time, and sometimes they go mad. because... Now, do you remember some vocabulary from last week? On the sheet to download, you had some vocabulary. So we had, for example, can you tell me the English for une pagaille? Une pagaille. Oh, c'était une pagaille. The situation was a mess. This is the polite term. It's a mess. We have less polite terms, you can imagine. Okay. Do you remember? One tree. One tree is very important. How do you say le chêne? Le chêne for the tree. It's a very important tree. Yeah, it is oak. Oak. An oak tree. Okay, good. Do you remember how do you say un arbre généalogique? An arbre généalogique. For my family, it is a family tree. Okay, very good. How do you say, what is the expression pour gagner sa vie? Donc, si je dis, par exemple, Bob, il gagne bien sa vie, Bob. Yeah, he earns a good living, or he makes a good living. He earns a good living. Oh, Bob, he makes a good living. Good. And one more. How do you say rester en contact avec quelqu'un? Rester en contact avec quelqu'un. Yeah, it's to stay in touch or keep in touch. Yeah, okay, let's keep in touch. Let's stay in contact. Okay, well, very good. Now, last week, so we looked at different things. In particular, we looked at question tags. Question tags. You like question tags, don't you? Yeah? Or you like question tags, don't you? Yeah. And remember the difference? So a real question goes up. Yeah? And if it is to confirm, it goes down. You like question tags, don't you? To confirm. Yeah. Or you like question tags, don't you? Yeah. Goes up. And remember, we follow the verb. So you can swim, can't you? Yeah. Can, can't. Oh, you'll go to Spain next summer, won't you? Yeah, so will, won't. Or you've got a dog, haven't you? Yeah, so have, haven't. So you follow the verb. Could, couldn't, yeah, etc. Should, shouldn't, will, won't, do, don't, did, didn't, yeah, etc. Okay. And the homework was to complete some question tags for conversations. So I hope this was okay. Remember, there was more than one possibility for this exercise. Okay, if you have any questions, if you think, oh, is this possible or not, don't hesitate to contact me. Stay in touch on my email address. Send me an email if you have a question. Okay, now this week I wanted to talk a little bit about obligation. Obligation. Yeah, I know. You are excited, I imagine. Okay. So how can you say qu'est-ce qu'il faut que vous fassiez ce week-end? Qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire ce week-end? Yeah. There's different possibilities. Now, the most used, the most common form for this question, qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire, qu'est-ce qu'il faut que vous fassiez, yeah, is what do you have to do this weekend? What do you have to do this weekend? Yeah? Or when we speak more quickly, what do you have to do? 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 Yeah, what do you have to do this weekend? Now, and remember, we have to, but also have got to. Because have and have got, it's the same for the present, it's the same. Okay? The future, the past is just have, but the present, have or have got. So for example, I don't know, I have a car. J'ai une voiture. Yeah? Or j'ai une voiture aussi. I've got a car. It's the same. J'ai une voiture. I have a car. I've got a car. And for obligation, it's the same. Exactly the same. So, j'ai une voiture. Yeah? Je dois nettoyer ma voiture. So, I have a car. I have to clean my car. So have to is the obligation. So I have a car, I have to clean my car. Je dois nettoyer ma voiture. Ou il faut que je nettoie ma voiture. Okay. Or have got is possible. So j'ai une voiture, I've got a car, je dois nettoyer ma voiture. I've got to clean my car. So I have to clean my car. I've got to clean my car. It's exactly the same. It's obligation. Now, when we speak more naturally, sometimes we say gotta. I gotta clean my car. Gotta. So I have got to. I've got to clean my car. Okay, but don't panic. It's a familiar way to speak. It's a familiar form of obligation. Gotta. So really, I have got to. But think, it's just like je dois faire quelque chose. So gotta, ça remplace je dois. Yeah, so I gotta go, je dois partir. Gotta, je dois. Okay? But it's a familiar way to speak. Okay, so I have to clean my car. I have got to clean my car. Or why not? You know, I must clean my car. It's possible, but must is less common, is less used. Okay, normally I have to. This is the most common. Now, Okay, so what can you say? What questions can you ask me, okay, with some different verbs? So, do you have to? Have you got to? Okay, so imagine. So, look at this. So, what is the question for obligation? Yeah. Do you have to plant your grass this weekend, Dan? Oh, do you have to? Yes. Yes, I do. Okay, yes, I do. Okay, and what is this question for obligation? Yeah. Do you have to kasha your decking? Decking is the wood space on the terrace. Do you have to kasha your decking? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Or what is this question for obligation? Do you have to find some schoolwork for your children next week? Oh, yes, I do. I have lots of work to do. Okay, what is this question? Do you have to fill up your car with petrol? Ah, no. No, I don't. I don't have to fill up my car with petrol because I have a full tank of petrol. Ah, yes. Okay. So the negative for have to is I don't have to. Okay, like I don't have to. Okay. So there is no obligation. J'ai pas besoin. Okay, good. Or remember, have you got to is completely correct. So plant your grass. Have you got to plant your grass? Kasha your decking. Have you got to kasha your decking? Find some schoolwork for your children. Have you got to find some schoolwork? Or fill up your car. Have you got to? Have you got to find some work for your children? And we don't really say must you. It's a bit strange. It's possible, it's correct, but it's not natural. Okay, good. Now, I I wanted to run the Bly Marathon this year. It's difficult now. It's difficult because we have the confinement. Yes. We are trapped in our houses. Okay. So what do I have to do before I run a marathon? Yeah, I have to train. I have to get fit. Yeah. I have to be fit. Okay, now today I wanted to look at some different vocabulary for sport and fitness. Okay. Now, can you stop the video, click on the vocabulary sheet on my website under the video, and you have an exercise to match, relier, yeah, to make them correspond, to match some vocabulary in English and in French. Okay, so stop the video, click on the document, connect the vocabulary, and then come back to the video. Okay? Okay. How was the exercise? Did you find the exercise on the vocabulary sheet? So just quickly for the corrections. So entraîner, s'entraîner, dresser, yeah, to train. Okay. So être en forme, yeah, to be fit, to be fit. Okay, good. Je fais de la gymnastique. Yeah, so I do exercise, or just I exercise. Yeah, or sometimes I work out. This is the common verb. I work out. I do exercise. I work out. So a workout. C'est une séance d'entraînement is a workout. Ah, it was a good workout yesterday. Okay. Or what about? Je vais au gymnase. Yeah, so normally, regularly, I go to the gym. Or now, I'm going to the gym. Okay, good. Or combien de fois faites-vous de l'exercice? So how often? Remember, this is the question for frequency. How often do you? How often do you exercise? How often do you work out? How often do you go to the gym? Not a lot at the moment. Okay. Or what about j'ai fait assez du footing pour cette semaine? So I've done enough. I've done enough jogging or running for this week. Not footing. Footing does not exist. Jogging, yes. Running, yes. Footing, no. This is French. Okay. Faire du vélo. This is to go cycling. And remember, normally the construction faire du or faire de la, this is to go verbing. To go verbing. So I go skiing. Yeah. Je fais du ski, I go skiing. Je fais de la natation, I go swimming. I go fishing, I go walking, I go running, I go canoeing, yeah, I go snowboarding, etc. Okay. Normally for sport, I go and also for shopping. I go shopping, but I don't often go shopping at the moment. Okay. Now, what is faire de l'escalade? Yeah. So it's to go rock climbing. To go climbing, to go rock climbing. Okay. And a bit more complicated, l'exercice réduit le risque de la maladie de cœur. So exercise reduces the risk of heart disease. It's an easy one. And finally, il a été très bien soigné là-bas. So he got a good treatment. So for medicine, we say to treat someone and a treatment. Okay. Donc les soins, this is the treatment. Okay. Or soigner, normally we say to treat. So the patient is treated at the hospital. What patient? You can imagine. Okay. Now, in the books, now take your book, turn to page 62. So unit 8, page 62 in the student's book, the blue title. So this, we talk about sport, but really it is an excuse to practice obligation, your favourite subject in English. Okay. Now, well, just for the title, well, girls and boys. I don't want to talk about girls and boys' differences in sport. It's not interesting for me. I'm sorry, but here we have a little title. You have to, you must cling on. Yeah, hold on, cling on. Yeah, so was it se cramponner, s'accrocher en quelque chose is to cling on. Cling on. You have to. You must hold on. Because we talk about mountain climbing and rock climbing, l'escalade. Now look at this nice photo, beautiful photo. Can you see a tiny person, a tiny figure in the photo? Yeah. So just here we have a tiny person. Is it a man or a woman? It's difficult to see, but probably a woman. And she is climbing. She is rock climbing, and this is very, very difficult. This is called, the name of this place is Moon Hill Crag in China. Okay, and the tiny person, the tiny figure here this is her name. She is Tilly Parkins from Sydney in Australia. And apparently, I don't know, apparently she is one of the world's greatest climbers. I had no idea. Now, we have some questions here to answer. So where does Tilly train, s'entraîner, train in the week? What's her job? Was it difficult to climb Moon Hill Crag? You can imagine the answer. Who is Adam Pretty? And why does Tilly go rock climbing? Just one thing, she has an Australian accent, and she doesn't say Adam Pretty, she will say Adam Pretty, Adam Pretty. She has this D sound. So listen to the audio and answer the questions. Okay?
Tape script 8.1. Interview with Tilly Parkins.
Tilly, I'm sure you have to be very fit and strong to go climbing. How often do you have to train?
I don't have to train every day, just 2 or 3 times a week. That's enough. I go to the gym. At the weekend, I try to get out of the city onto rock, but sometimes I have to work at the hospital.
What do you do at the hospital?
I'm a cardiac technologist. I help doctors treat people with heart diseases.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. The photograph of Moon Hill Crag is amazing. Was it a difficult climb?
Difficult and very beautiful.
I can see that. It's like a painting. What time of day was it?
It was just after dawn. I had to climb very early in the morning. You can't climb later in the day. It's too hot, over 35 degrees Celsius.
Who took the photograph?
A brilliant sports photographer called Adam Pretty.
He's a brave man.
Oh, he didn't have to climb with me. He took the photo from a nearby tourist spot.
Wise man. Rock climbing is such a dangerous sport, and you've climbed in some of the most difficult places in the world. Why do you do it?
It's what I love doing. It's my life. It's who I am.
So where does Tilly train in the week? Well, she trains in the gym. In the gym. Yeah, 2 or 3 times a week. What's her job? Well, she says, I'm a cardiac technologist. I don't know exactly the job, but clearly she works with the technology for the heart. But I don't know the exact job. but she says I'm a cardiac technologist. Was it difficult to climb? Yes, it was very difficult, but very beautiful. Okay. Who is Adam Pretty? Adam Pretty? He's a sports photographer. Okay. And why, the most difficult question, why does Tilly go rock climbing? Yeah, because it's what I love. It's who I am. It's what I love. It's who I am. It's what I love. It's who I am. It is the person that I am. It's the thing that I love. Okay, all good. Here we have number 3. And you can see we have the different obligations. So, have to, je dois, I have to. Je n'ai pas besoin, I don't have to. There's no obligation. Do you have to? Devez-vous, for example. Do you have to? And then the verb. I had to, j'ai dû, je devais. I had to work yesterday. Now, I didn't have to. It's the negative, it's the past. So, je n'avais pas besoin. So, there's no obligation in the past. Okay? It's not interdiction. Okay? There's no obligation in the past. And finally, can't. So, it is impossible, I can't. So, try. Now here we have elements from the interview with Tilly. Try to put the obligation terms in the text, okay? And then we can listen again with the dialogue. Okay, so stop the video, complete the text with the terms, and then we can listen again, okay? Is it okay? Well, just to check. Okay, now let's listen again, this time with the dialogue. Now the dialogue is on page 128 of the student's book. Okay, so we can listen again, and if you want to listen again more times, click on the link under the video. It's TapeScript 8.1. Okay, so let's listen again.
TapeScript 8.1. Interview with Tilly Parkins.
Tilly, I'm sure you have to be very fit and strong to go climbing. How often do you have to train?
I don't have to train every day. Just 2 or 3 times a week, that's enough. I go to the gym. At the weekend, I try to get out of the city onto rock, but sometimes I have to work at the hospital.
What do you do at the hospital?
I'm a cardiac technologist. I help doctors treat people with heart diseases.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. The photograph of Moon Hill Crag is amazing. Was it a difficult climb?
Difficult and very beautiful.
I can see that. It's like a painting. What time of day was it?
It was just after dawn. I had to climb very early in the morning. You can't climb later in the day. It's too hot, over 35 degrees Celsius.
Who took the photograph?
A brilliant sports photographer called Adam Pretty.
He's a brave man.
Oh, he didn't have to climb with me. He took the photo from a nearby tourist spot.
Wise man. Rock climbing is such a dangerous sport, and you've climbed in some of the most difficult places in the world. Why do you do it?
It's what I love doing. It's my life. It's who I am.
Is it okay? Were you Correct. Okay, good. Now, to practice the questions, the interrogative form, okay, so let's try to complete some questions about Tilly. Again, so try again, stop the video, try to imagine, it's with have to for obligation. Try to imagine what are the correct questions for Tilly. So you have the answer, so try to imagine the questions, okay? Yeah. Is it okay? So let's see. Now listen to tape script 8.2 and let's see if your answers are correct. Okay?
Tape script 8.2. 1,
How often does she have to train?
2 or 3 times a week?
2,
Does she have to work at weekends?
Yes, she does sometimes.
3,
Why did she have to climb Moonhill Crag just after dawn?
Because later it gets too hot and you can't climb in the heat.
4,
Did Adam have to climb the rock?
No, he didn't. He took the photo from a tourist spot.
Okay, good. Now just for the grammar today, the grammar part. So this is the grammar of have to. So you can read have to plus the infinitive. It is to express obligation. Comme je dois, il faut que je, plus subjunctive. So she has to train hard. Elle doit s'entraîner. Yeah. She has to train hard. Or the question, do you? It's the present, so do you have to? It's exactly the same conjugation as have to, so have or have got to, okay? It's the same. So I have a car, j'ai une voiture, do you have a car? I have to work, do you have to work? So the conjugation is like have, okay? Or have got. I have got a car, have you got a car? I have got to work, have you got to work? Okay? So do you have to work normally at weekends, le weekend? So the question, the negative and the past. So do you have to work late in your job with have to? Do you have to? Okay. Or no, so usually, no, je n'ai pas besoin, I don't have to work late usually. Mais j'ai dû travailler un peu tard hier. So the past for have, it's had. So I had to work late yesterday. And remember, if you want to use I have got to, I gotta, this is for the present, not for the past or the future. So I gotta work tomorrow, or I have got to work tomorrow. Je dois travailler demain. I got to work tomorrow. I got to. In the past, c'est toujours I had to. On n'a pas une forme passée ou future, c'est juste pour le présent. I got to or gotta. And the number 3, so can you write, is it, have to, don't have to, there's no obligation, can or can't. So it's possible, I can. Yeah. It's necessary, yeah, I have to. It's not possible, I can't. It's not possible, I can't. So not necessary, yeah, is I don't have to. I don't have to. Now, it's not here yet, but the big difference, the big danger in grammar is the difference between don't have to and mustn't. Okay, so remember, have to is obligation, don't have to is no obligation. Okay, but mustn't is interdiction. Okay, so for example, I don't have to work on Saturday. There's no obligation to work on Saturday. Okay, but I mustn't smoke on a bus. For example, I mustn't smoke in the office. I mustn't smoke on the bus. Okay, it's illegal. So mustn't, interdiction, but I don't have to work on Saturday. Okay. I mustn't meet my friends at the moment. Okay. But I don't have to stay in my house all the time because I can go in the garden. So be careful, don't have to and mustn't. Okay, good. Now, there's a little difference with pronunciation. In fact, a little difference for pronunciation. So have, pour posséder quelque chose, I have a car. So you can see here the phonetic alphabet, your favourite. So I have a good job. But je dois travailler dur. I have to. So it's a f for obligation. So I have a good job. I have a good job. But I have to work hard. Well, the same thing for he or she. So he has a nice camera. He has a nice camera. Yeah. But she, Tilly, she has to work hard. So c'est pour posséder j'ai, but pour l'obligation, c'est plutôt yeah, she has to go. But don't panic. Or number 3. So we had a good time, or we had to get up early. Had to. Okay. Little differences for pronunciation, but it's really, really not the end of the world. With practice, the pronunciation comes. Okay. And don't hesitate to use have got to for obligation. It's very, very, very common. If you listen to music or American TV series, you will hear I gotta all the time. Pour je dois faire quelque chose. I gotta do something. Okay, it's very, very, very common. So I can say je devrais faire du sport. It's a good idea. Je devrais faire du sport. Now, how can I say je devrais faire du sport in English? It's not have to. It's not must. It's I should. I should do more sport. Okay. So should, it is a good idea. It's advice. Now the negative for should not. I should not. Yeah. I should not meet my friend because the police will give me a fine, probably. Okay, it's not a good idea. Or what should I do? Que devrais-je faire? What should I do if I have a problem? And should is a modal verb, like must, like can, like will. So to make a question, you invert the verb and the subject. So Bob should work harder. Or the question, so Bob should work harder. Should Bob work harder? Okay. I should do more sport. Should I do more sport? Yes, I should, for example. Okay. Now, I have some different problems. Now, I want you to practice this. So speak out loud if you can. So try to use should and a verb. Okay, so I say the problem, you give me advice with should. Okay? So, for example, I say, oh, I don't know, I'm in love with someone. You can say, Dan, you should send some flowers, for example. Okay? So think, what can you say in English with should? You should verb. So look. So I work too hard. You should have a rest, for example. Okay, good. What about I want to speak more English? You should, you should study more with Dan. You should speak to people online in English. Okay. Oh no, I'm late for my meeting. What should I do? You should, you should call your boss, for example. I can't remember people's names. You should make a note, for example, of their names. Oh no, I've lost my mobile. Yeah. You should phone your company and you should block your number. Okay. Oh, I'm going to Iceland soon and I don't speak Icelandic. Yeah, probably you should speak English. Why not? Okay. And finally, I want to do lots of homework. You should do pages 53 and 54, exercises number 1 to number 6 in the workbook. Yes, so I'm sorry. So the homework today. So we are going to start unit number 8. Okay, so can you complete, where are we? I'm sorry. Oh, yes. So can you complete, so pages 53, so all this page, and 54, exercises number 1 to number 6. So I want to do the exercise with should. Okay, so all the exercises, so number 1, 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6, which is page 55, in fact. Okay, so it's to practice have to, the different forms of have to. Have to is very, 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 very important grammar point. Okay, so we practice the positive, negative, interrogative forms. You have a selection, you put the selection in the text. Then we practice questions, so complete the questions with have to, like we did. So number 2. Now number 2, this exercise here, number 2, this is to see, is it have the possessive, donc j'ai quelque chose, j'ai une voiture, or is it have to, is it obligation? So for example, she has a good job, elle a un bon travail. So this is have the sense possession. So je peux écrire B. Or she has to work, elle doit travailler, il faut qu'elle travaille. Yeah? She has to work really hard. So this is the sense obligation, has to. So is it possession, have, or obligation, have to? Okay, just to practice. And then number 3 is to practice the past. So like, I have a car, or passé, I had a car. So do you have a car? Did you have a car? Okay, so the past would be did have to, did you have to, or I didn't have to. Okay, or affirmative, I had to, j'ai dû. And then number 4, if you want, try to make some true sentences, true for you, with have to, has to, doesn't have to. It's not important, it's just to practice the structure. Okay. Number 5, you have some little mistakes. Okay. Every sentence has one mistake, so correct the mistakes. Okay. And finally, just to finish, with the verb should, pour donner un conseil, je devrais faire quelque chose, I should. Okay, here we are. So try to use the ideas here to make sentences with should, I think she should, or I don't think she should, and something here, okay? And then here, it's to make questions with do you think I should? Pensez-vous que je devrais do something? Because next week we're going to look at some more problems with should. Okay? And remember, if you have a problem, don't hesitate to contact me. Okay? You can talk to me, we can email, okay, as you like, but the most important thing, you should stay inside, you should wash your hands, you should buy a chicken to have fresh eggs at the moment. Okay, so see you soon. Take care.